Welcome to the Rough Fish Registry.
Yeah, first episode.
First episode. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
I feel like we should caveat that we have no idea what we're doing, but we're just two dudes having a conversation. And so Chase, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Chase Wilmoth, Southwest Missouri boy, and have been bow fishing for probably, going on 5 years now.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's all you do? You just bow fish?
I just bow fish. I work on the side to support my bow fishing habit.
And kids.
And kids.
Yeah.
And a wife.
That's true.
Yeah. They, I run...
Close second.
Yeah. Yeah, so we run gas stations, convenience stores, just kind of anything to do with gas. I guess,
really setting that up on the right there. The ball on the tee. The ball on the tee.
Yes.
Well, cool. Yeah. So my name is Pate Shumaker, and I've been bow fishing now. This will be my officially fourth season. This will be the third season that I fished pretty hard. But we're not any good. We just try. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I also work for battery outfitters, so we sell batteries to all sorts of folks. We got stores and all that kind of good stuff.
You sell batteries and battery accessories.
Batteries and battery accessories.
That's right.
Come on down, folks. I'll get you set up.
Yeah. So how'd you get started bow fishing?
Okay, so it wasn't like my own idea. Most good things that I find, I stole them from somebody else, most of the time. So my brother and his good buddy, who will be featured in later podcasts, got started bow fishing pretty heavily. Well, not heavily, but they got started bow fishing about 5 years ago. The classic, saw some carp, found a bow, got a canoe, went and slayed a bunch, and then, it evolves from there. About 4 years ago, they'd put together a little, like a 1632 death trap, I like to call it.
Yeah.
With a 40-horse Mercury jet from like 1968, and we killed a lot of fish out of that. But
that thing had to haul the mail. 16-foot boat with a 40-horse jet. That'd be
yeah, I think we got the GPS out, and it ran like 19.
Oh, maybe not then.
No, it wasn't fast. No. And it did about take on water every time three dudes got on the front, which is every night.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many people we had on the boat one night, but things did get a little sketchy. But, we survived. But we killed a lot of fish out of the little boat, even though it was kind of scary some nights.
I always wonder if you have more fun when it's like that, not, out there on a $50,000 kicker rig, running around.
Those are fun too.
I mean, those are fun too, but
especially if you don't have to pay for them.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess whoever has to finance that maybe doesn't have as much fun, but
but if you get, if you just say thanks and leave at the end of the night,
that's right.
It works out pretty good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I guess I got started. I was at church actually, and jumped on Facebook in church, I guess, and I think that's how it was.
As every good Christian does.
That's right. And I noticed that Mike Webb had posted a link to a little tournament called the U.S. Open.
Who's Mike Webb?
He runs the U.S. Open.
He does run.
Well, he does. I guess he doesn't. I guess I say he runs it. He does a weigh-in. He does the, I guess the stuff in the back, weighs the fish. Mm-hmm. The big guy.
Tournament operations.
Yeah. He was in a dress actually at a weigh-in one time at a bass tournament.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if anybody's seen that.
I think they also do bass tournaments too.
Yeah, they
quite
do.
A few.
Yeah, I think it's Webb Outdoors is his company.
Cool.
But anyway, so I saw him post about the U.S. Open, and there was a guy at church, Earl Alexander, who I knew had bow fished at some point in his life, and so I run over to him. I'm like, "Hey man, did you see this bow fishing tournament?" And he said no. So I showed it to him, and he's like, "Well, I haven't been in a while, but you want to go?" And I'm like, "Sure, sounds like a good time." So he goes, "Well, you're gonna need to practice a little bit before we just roll up to a tournament." And I said, "All right." So we load up, go to one of our local lakes, and He's got a 1660, same deal, about a 40 horse outboard on it, and
probably a little more stable, 60-inch.
Yeah, if you would have taken out the 10,000 watt generator that was sitting in the front of the boat that probably weighed as much as a car.
Oh, nice.
But no, so we get up there, and it's myself, Earl, and a buddy of mine, Chad Cloud. And it's, gosh, when would it have been? It was cold, that's all I know. I just remember it being freezing cold.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like 4 fish that we saw the whole night, and I couldn't hit anything to save my life.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to my situation. We went out. It was a little bit warmer. It was summertime. We had this thing where it was like, well, you can only bowfish in the summer. And
proved that wrong the other night.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did. Oh, I say summer. We late April's when they'd start.
Yeah,
but it was like May or June. And we went out, and we went to this little honey hole that turned out to be it's no longer a honey hole because we killed everything in the entire, vicinity. But went out, and I think everybody, there were 3 other dudes and myself, and I think they killed like 25 fish. Was a really fun night. I didn't hit anything, of course, because it's not something that most people just walk out or get on a boat and, go, kill it, because it's a little tougher than it looks.
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, but it's fun, and it'll hook you. I know that firsthand.
Yeah, what would you say is your best night bow fishing? Just not necessarily numbers, not necessarily big fish, just the time you went out and you just had the most fun you've ever had in your life bow fishing.
Boy, it's hard to stack that up because there's so many different variables. The first one that comes to mind is when we went to an undisclosed location in eastern Missouri last year.
Was it eastern Missouri or was it western Missouri?
It may have been western.
Yeah.
I get the map kind of messed up sometimes.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But it was somewhere in Missouri. And we can backtrack and delete all this out later, but we don't need to. It's on public record now. But anyway, it was a little bit of a drive, north, south, east, or west. I can't remember exactly. But, we left work about 2 o'clock and hopped in a truck and drove with you and another feller named Chad, and got out in the water and cruised around for about an hour and a half and didn't see crap. It was like, wow, we just wasted 6 hours driving all the way over here.
Yeah.
And then things changed.
Things definitely did change. It didn't see a ton of fish, but the fish we did see were some giants.
Quality over quantity.
Yes, that's my motto these days.
Yeah, definitely.
I think every bow fisherman starts out where they just want to go out and fill the tub.
Right. That's the thing. They
just go out, let's get as bloody and as nasty as we can and fill the tub. And I'm sure some people keep that up their whole bow fishing career, if you want to call it. But I think I've turned into a quality over quantity type guy here lately.
Definitely looking for that experience.
Yes.
And I don't remember how many, was it 8 fish that night?
Yeah, I think it was around 8 fish. I was with him that night, by the way. It was it was a quick trip over
there and back
to kill a couple good fish, 68-pound buffalo, if I remember right.
Probably maybe only 2 that were under 40.
Yeah, I think we had a couple that were in the 50s, and then what else did we see? We didn't see any commons or anything. Did we see like some pickerel? Was that what they were? It looked like little gar or something. Maybe we didn't see those. Maybe that's
I don't know what kind of language you're speaking right now.
Spitting Spanish over here.
We've got a name for those, but we're not going to say it on our PG podcast.
Yes.
So this is, let's not offend anybody in the first episode.
No.
I'm going to try not to.
Well, you're already trying to give away our spots.
Well, but it's public knowledge.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah. I didn't say where we were going.
No.
It was the Mississippi River, folks. Okay?
Yeah, a lot of water over there.
You don't take a small boat. You will die. No, you won't. But you do need to be very careful if you ever go in a big river, because things can change pretty fast.
I've actually never shot a big river.
Did you not fish the Tennessee?
Well, I mean, I I call that like Gunnersville or like
Yeah,
those are lakes.
Not
Those aren't-
Gunnersville though. Like I think it was Pickwick that we fished on the way home.
Yeah.
Our team at the carp out last year, and I mean, it was moving water. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, tankers floating down and moving water. It was like pretty wide, moving water. So you just gotta
Yeah,
be on your A game.
there's for sure flow on those lakes for sure. You'd hate to get hung up, and that'd be a bad
It's probably
deal,
no
I
big
think.
deal to people that fish that all the time.
Yeah,
but,
they're like, I take my canoe out there all the time.
yeah. But this dude's from Southwest Missouri. That's a little bit. You just need to be prepared for that.
Yeah, we like clear lakes and
Yeah.
no moving water.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know. Yeah, we're no good at it anyway. So.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your favorite night of fishing? If you could pick one.
So that first year of bow fishing, we went and shot the open. I think I shot 3 fish and shot 3,000 times, and
Definitely.
it was still fun. Had a good time, seeing all the airboats and seeing what real bow fishermen, I guess, were all about. And it was a week or two after the open. Guy called me up, and he had a bow fishing boat and wanted to go out and kill some fish. So he loaded us up, and we go to the exact boat ramp we put in at the open, and we didn't fire the big motor up. We run the trolling motor 400 yards down this bank, and we filled the boat completely full of fish. And I'm not talking suckers. I'm talking 20 to 35 pound commons just everywhere. And I've never seen it like that ever again.
You can catch those nights that are fun like that. Last summer, it's hard to say what's your favorite, night. Last summer, Trevor and I took out our dad and an old family friend, and we just thought, well, it was a weeknight. We all had to work the next morning. Didn't want to stay out too late, so we got on the water right when the sun was going down. Rolled over to this little cove that we fished a couple times, and thought, well, we'll find 5 or 6 commons maybe, and just take them out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, we caught it just perfect, and the spawn was happening, and we probably saw 300 fish and 4 grass carp, and
Yeah.
we started to fill the boat, and we were like, we gotta stop right now, because
It never fails when you take somebody new or somebody that isn't very experienced, that you get on fish like that. We had the same experience this last year. We took a guy that had never been before. I mean, he'd bow hunted, and we hit the buffalo spawn just, on the money. I mean, they had to be doing it right there. I mean, it was like that. I mean, and there was literally fish everywhere. My fish box is, 3 foot deep? No, probably not 3 foot. Probably 2 foot deep, and
2.5 feet deep, probably
5 feet by 4 feet.
It's big.
And we filled that thing twice. And they were all, that same 20 to 40 pound range. It was just, you literally shot till you could feel your heart beating in your fingers. And it was just another one of those nights that just probably won't forget for a long time.
So what's the show going to be about, Chase?
It's going to be, I guess, somewhat educational.
Sure.
If as little as we know.
Conversational education.
Conversational educational. I like that.
I don't know if it's conversational educational. Maybe it's conversational education. I don't know.
I just like that it rhymes.
I think it is. It is kind of nice. I like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we we talked about this for what?
Yeah, we started talking about it in October.
Yeah, October, November, somewhere in there, and I kind of brainstormed, and we're gonna try to, bring guys on the show that definitely know way more than we do.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because it is, by no means would I consider myself a great bow fisherman.
Definitely not.
Definitely average.
Definitely not a good shot. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I can drive a boat okay, but when it comes to the clutch shots, I'm not I'm kind of like Scottie Pippen to MJ.
I GoPro videoed myself bow fishing one time.
Painful, wasn't it?
No, I found out one thing.
Oh.
I was an awesome boat driver.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't shoot for nothing, but I was an awesome boat driver.
As captains, that's our responsibility.
Yeah. Especially that kicker motor, you got to, you're horsing that, that steer stick around the whole night. And you don't get to shoot as much as you think you would.
No, you got to drive and you got to spot. You're watching.
Yeah,
and you're calling the shots.
Just like the other night, the guys on my boat couldn't see the fish I was spotting. But left side. I mean, left means left.
Right.
And not right.
Huh. Yeah.
And
I wonder who that was.
I do not recall, but they ended up killing some fish. So, but yeah, we want to have some guys on the show.
Let it be known that first 2 shots of 2017 were straight to the face. So
it was.
Now the rest of the night, there were a few whiffs right off the front of the boat. Yeah. But 2 for 2, right out of the hole. That's got to be a good year.
So speaking of bow fishing, we're go off on a tangent here. Pate shoots a retriever here. Oh. Now, I've just been waiting
to talk about equipment.
No, I've just been waiting to bring this up. I don't understand. What's your reasoning?
Darts.
What's your reasoning?
Here's my reason. Here's my reason. It's fail safe. I've had it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Haven't had a single issue. Put string on it one time, not out because I needed to, just because I felt like it'd be a good idea. Yeah. How many reels do you have in your boat for backup?
Well,
how many extra muzzies are in your boat?
Is my wife listening to this? That's the question. That's the question. I have got probably an overabundance. I have.
Yes.
I think I have 8 or 10 reels in my boat.
Mm. Yeah.
But let that be known. But I have shot the same reel for the last year and a half.
Okay. Well,
from stingrays in Florida.
Yep.
To
which, again, I was there as well.
Yeah, you were there. I guess I can say stingrays, but that ended up being a very slow night. I think there was something going on with the tide or something, and
we saw a bunch of really cool stuff, but
we couldn't shoot them.
Mm-mm.
No, you can't shoot manatee.
I didn't want to go to prison
or eagle rays.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
we did see like 17 manta rays. That was pretty cool.
Manatee.
What did I say?
Manta ray.
Oh yeah, manatees, sea cows.
Yes, and I felt like I could have rode one. Like I really feel like, and they wouldn't have cared.
I had to scream at Jeff White to not run into them.
Yeah,
because I was yelling buoy, and he said there are no buoys out here, and I said, well, there's something red glowing in front of us.
Yeah, one of them had a
tracker, had a tracker on his tail. Flashing red collar.
Yeah,
that's the only. Otherwise, we would have probably hit the water.
You could almost see the waves where they were swimming. I mean, it threw a wake like
it was
a submarine.
It was a sight to behold.
But anyway,
rabbit trail.
Where are we going? Yes, muzzy reel. I do have a lot of reels on the boat, but I shoot a lot of tournaments, and I just feel like the reel with a shoot through rod and tying to the back of the arrow is. I feel like if me and you shoot beside each other, my arrow doesn't splash. It's
true.
It's through the water, and yours has a weird flight. I don't know. And nothing against a retriever, but that's the way I look at it.
True.
I feel like you can shoot deeper. I feel like I could shoot deeper or farther out more accurately than.
It has a different sound.
Yeah. It's not a splash sound. It's a.
It's just what you get started with. Or what
no,
you get used to.
It is for sure.
I think we're gonna actually try some reels this year just to see.
But I've got some you can borrow.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna steal them.
Yeah.
But I shoot the same shoot through rod from TJE. Is that right? TJE.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Cool dude. And for the AMS retriever, and that was a game changer for me. Mm-hmm. We weren't going to talk about equipment in this first episode, so we can wrap this section up.
Yeah.
But that's part of what we're going to talk about in the podcast. We're going to talk about tactics. We're going to talk about big fish. If somebody, if some local dude shoots a state record,
John Paul Morse,
maybe he could come on and we could talk about it.
Yeah, he did actually just shoot a little buffalo somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, 58 pounds, I think.
57, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big fish.
No, for sure. For sure.
Pretty cool. And so, yeah, we'd like to get, have some conversations about, tracking down those big kind of fish like that, because it's not dumb luck.
No, I mean,
to kill the big ones, it's not.
You look at the tournaments, and I mean, I'll call it the same 20 or 30 people that are always at the big tournaments. They're always finishing towards the top. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're from Texas and drive to Tennessee, or if they're from Florida and drive to Missouri. I mean, the same teams are always up there near the top, and
always competitive.
Yes,
it's not luck.
No, and there's some skill and probably more scouting, but not necessarily just blindly scouting. I think it's
being able to look at a map and topography and to say, hey, that spot right there is going to hold some fish. Yeah. Just like Western hunters, that can look at a topo map and say, there's going to be elk right there.
Yeah, I have a story about John Paul, speaking of looking at a spot and saying there's going to be a big fish there.
It's not a fish story, is it?
It might be a fish story.
Oh, okay.
But it's a true fish story.
That was lame. I'm sorry.
We'll edit that out.
I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that.
So I had just built my boat. It was a 1860, and I found this guy on Facebook, JP, and I was just messaging him about lights and generators and a couple other things, and he was always getting back to me and letting me know what he was running and what he liked. And gosh, it was the middle of summer. I don't remember if I messaged him and told him we were going fishing, or if he messaged me and we said, was asking if we were going out tonight or something. Anyway, we ended up meeting up and met up, got the boat put in, and I'm out there shooting my 10, 15-pound commons that I'm just eating it up, because I'm a new guy, new bow fisherman. And after about an hour of that, he says, hey, you want to go shoot a big fish? And I said, yeah, sure. so
no.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. So he jumps on my GPS and he messes around with it, and he points to a spot. He says, go there. And I'm like, whatever, whatever. I thought he was just pulling my leg. So,
because the classic thing we learned quickly in bow fishing is if somebody tells you where to go, or they tell you where they went, 9 times out of 10 they're lying.
Yeah.
And it should be common knowledge.
No, for sure.
Not that I don't like you, but why would I tell you where fish are? That's silly.
Well, it depends what time of the year it is too. I mean,
I guess so. But if tournaments are around at all.
Yeah. So anyway, we load up, jump on the big motor. We motor. Gosh, it was probably 10 minutes from where we were at. Get all the way to where he told us to go, and me and another buddy of mine jump up on the front deck, and we drop the trolling motor down, and JP was back there grabbing his bow, and about the time he jumps up on the front deck, I'm not kidding, 40-pound grassy just rolls right in front of the boat, and we put 3 arrows in it. I mean, we hadn't been in this spot for 3 minutes, and he, I asked him about that, year or two after it happened. He goes, I just felt like such a stud for taking you to that spot. And
total luck, though.
Yeah, he goes, it wasn't total luck, but it was,
Yeah.
It was, but it wasn't. He just knew what to look for, and what, how to read a topo map better than me, for sure.
Right.
So,
no, that's a cool story. I don't have a cool story like that, because anytime somebody gets in my boat, it's like, hey, no promises here, folks. We're gonna go try. So
yeah.
But every once in a while you get lucky, and you get to go stick some. So that's a good time. But that's content like that, equipment. We want to talk about things we find that are successful.
Yeah, things that work for us, and maybe things that work for other people.
Boat setups.
We've got
anything we can help.
We've got definitely have one boat builder that's going to come on the show and basically go through the full process. From the first phone call of, hey, I want to build a custom bow fishing rig to, going down there and picking it up. I mean, what it takes from beginning to end. I mean, the decisions that, when I built my boat, there was decisions you had to make that you feel like you don't know the answer to.
Right.
You're like, well, and I can't even think of them off the top of my head. I mean, there's so many of them, but just little things, how big do you want your back deck? How big do you want your front deck? How, your walk arounds, how big do you want them? Well, if you make them too big, then you can't get between them, and stuff like that. It's just, there's so much that goes into that. And these guys that build these custom boats are definitely sharp folks for sure.
Yeah.
Not the guys that pay for them to be built, the guys that actually build them.
Yeah.
I'm by no means a sharp folk. I shoot fish in the face. That's what I do.
That's right. And then if they keep flopping around in the boat, we get the hammer out. It's like, yeah, you better be quiet.
That's you. I'm not a hammer guy. I don't.
That was one of those things that that the first night that I went out, we got this bucket, right? And we're going to throw the fish in the bucket. And I don't know if it's just like the extra hillbilly in us, because, we live down here in the country here in, South Berry County. So you can see Arkansas from our back porch. But
I can hear the banjos from our back porch.
Yeah, there's a few. I have one myself, so be scared. But so we get in this boat, and first night I go out. So I'm with Trevor and Adam, and the first night I kill a fish. Got in the boat, and they're like, they hand me the hammer, like this ceremonial, this moment that they've been waiting for. It's like the passing of the torch at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Or, something just epic's about to happen, and they're like, now it's time.
Did you hold it up like Simba, like at the Lion King, like, Savannah? No, didn't do that. No.
So I try to hit this fish in the head with a hammer, and we're getting really violent here, and they just laugh at me. It's like, oh, you gotta hit it a lot harder than that, you little girl. And so I proceed to get violent, and that was that.
Dispatch the fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Turn to pure fertilizer.
Why? So we don't knock our fish down. I mean, we don't.
That's common practice.
Yeah.
In some places.
No, it is. I mean, we don't. We'll knock the gar. I mean, we'll hit the gar with the bat we got in the boat, but normally carp we don't. Do you have a reasoning that you do that, or?
At first, I don't know that they had a reasoning other than just, put them out of their misery. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Now, if we're shooting a tournament, especially in the daytime, or if we feel like fish may be delicate, or if it's an overfished area, to limit the flop, as we'll call it,
So limit the noise in the boat.
Limit the noise in the boat.
To keep the other fish that are still out there from spooking.
Yeah,
exactly. I can see that.
Yeah, because we run, as a battery guy, right? Because I am
Dr. Watts.
Our boat is 100% electric, or in its current form. So we've got we run 12-volt lights, and I have about a 24-volt, 300-amp battery system that I power my lights with, and then another 24-volt trolling motor. So I've got, at any given night, which isn't a lot for some folks, but I've got, 120 and then 130 and then another, so I got 300 pounds of batteries in the boat.
But you can run all night, right?
But I can run, on a normal night of fishing, I can run from, 8 to 1. No problem. If we're fishing an all-night tournament, we'll throw an extra set of troller batteries in. But as far as lights go, I can go all night. In the U.S. Open, the carp outs, I run all night on one set of light batteries. So
no, that's awesome. That's always a question you see. Like, hey, I've got
exactly
12 50-watt LEDs. How long are they going to last? Well, it really depends on the battery.
And there's a lot of things about lights, and I hope we can get some guys on here that are a little sharper about LEDs. But if you get on eBay or Amazon and you buy like a quote 27 watt light, it's not going to pull 27 watts.
Yeah.
You know, our setup right now, which is just a bunch of Amazon lights, is supposed to be like 600 total watts. And when you do the math on the amp pull for the voltage, it should only last like 10 hours. Well, we've shot 12 and with 0 dimming. So even though they say it's 27 watts, it's not actually going to be pulling that much. And hopefully we can get some sharp dudes on here and, you know,
go over lights, color, you know, what color everybody likes, and
different reasons for different colors.
Yeah, what colors work best in different water. I mean, what'd you think of the high pressure sodiums I run the other night?
They're
bright.
They're very bright. They're very
There's
bright.
no doubt about that.
Yeah, to run how many? So you have 6 lights?
I run 6 lights and run 2 Honda 2000s.
Yeah, so that's a lot of generators to run 6 lights. But buddy, they're bright. They're super bright. So they're pretty neat. I don't know the first thing about the HPS stuff, but the color, you know, that bright yellow, is that just the color out of the box?
So I run digital ballast. So if I haven't changed them, I haven't felt the need to. If you got in a really clear lake, you could take the bulbs, switch out for metal halides, which are more of a whitish blue color, and they supposedly do better in clear water. But I haven't really felt the need to make that change.
The yellow light helps cut through like the murky stuff.
That's what they say. Whoever they is.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
I like them.
They is some folk on the internet.
Well, if you just go off of, I guess the light output, gosh, I don't remember what. I run 600s on the front, and I run 400s, 2 400s on each side. And if I remember right, and if I'm wrong, you can just tell me I'm wrong. But
Flame at the C Wilmoth Instagram.
Yes, I think.
Send inappropriate photos.
I think those front lights are 98,000 looms a piece, and then the sides are between 40 and 50, I think. So one of my 600s puts out as much light as 12 50-watt LEDs or more. I think I did the math when I decided to go with them.
The question becomes, in my head, how much of that's actually going in the water, and how much are you, lighting up every house on the lake?
Well, that is a good question.
We were floating around, was it Palmy the other night? I can't remember what lake it was.
Yeah, we were.
I don't remember. It was a pond, actually.
Yeah, private pond.
Yeah, private pond. That's one thing. We're not going to tell anybody any holes. Just don't ask.
Not that we really have many, but
no, we don't. But we're definitely not telling you what we do have.
Yes.
But I was sitting there on the back of the boat, because I'm quality over quantity. And, Chad's up there screaming at me because I'm passing up little 10-pound buffs. And I'm like, I'm not going to shoot that. We got plenty of fish in the boat. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm like watching the bank, and it's like, I could see if 2 squirrels were getting it on in that tree up there right now.
Yeah.
You could see pretty well.
Well, maybe I'd like to see that kind of stuff. Maybe I want to know what's going on, not just in the water, but out of the water.
Okay.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen when bow fishing?
Oh, gosh. Weirdest thing. Man, I'll tell you. Well, there's this one creek that we go up, and 2 years ago when the water was way up, like I think it was like it was like 9, was it at 9? What did it get to? 925? 926?
I don't know which lake you're referring to.
Okay, so some lake was at 925, 926.
Here? This one here?
Table Rock, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was a creek on Table Rock. That's pretty discreet. And we're going way back, way farther, like 500 yards further than we've ever been.
Yeah.
Way back up here. And we go around this corner, and there is this homemade tarp teepee thing going on, and something like blew out of it as we came around the corner. And I'm like
blew it like in the water?
No,
like
no, it was on the bank, and it could have been some kids camping, or it could have been Sasquatch, or it could have been whatever.
But
we just decided to turn the boat around and leave at that point, because we were probably on somebody's like farm at this point.
Yeah.
But it kind of freaked us out a little bit.
I always wonder if Sasquatch was real. I always think about this when I'm deer hunting, This is, I mean, just you saying Sasquatch made me think
You
of this.
can't hear it, but I'm shaking my head.
But I always wonder if I shoot Sasquatch with my bow, if he could catch my arrow. Like, I think he would be such an awesome
Let's
animal.
just end this. Let's just end this right now for our listeners. All right, Chase. How many game cameras do you own? How many game cameras do you run?
Too many. 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, so we actively run like 6, and
Yeah.
I've got like 4 or 5 more that I'll have out.
Yeah.
You ask a Western hunter, you ask anybody. Most average folks run 5 to 8 cameras.
Yeah.
If there was a Sasquatch, somebody would have a picture.
You know, I agree.
But if you come to me with this whole, well, they could have a smartphone and they could come and take your card and delete the picture off.
No, that's not where I'm going at all.
Okay, well, I've heard that argument.
So we have trapped the property that I live on, and we catch bobcats all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a picture of a bobcat.
I've had pictures of bobcats.
Well, I haven't. So maybe Sasquatch is at my place.
Maybe you don't know how to place a camera.
Maybe not.
Or maybe
we can. You want to compare to your pictures? You want to compare to your pictures?
That's where I'm going. Maybe at your farm you've got them angled up because you got to get all the rack in there. You know.
Yeah.
Me,
maybe.
I got to get these spikes. So you know.
No. I'm not. I'm not saying I believe in Sasquatch. I do like watching Finding Bigfoot, and I get disappointed when they don't find him at the end of every show. I know it's so dumb, but
I have a friend. I wasn't here for the story, and we'll probably talk about this later as well. But since we're talking about Sasquatch, him and his now wife were out. I believe they were listening for turkeys. I don't think they were actually hunting. So it was like they were out at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and they've got some private land right next to Mark Twain National Forest. Really hilly, really woolly. You know, hard to get to. A lot of dense. This is really dense.
yeah, big woods for
Big
sure.
big woods, and way off of the beaten trail. So he's telling me that they park the truck, and they like shut the truck door, and the next thing you know, he sees this thing at about 50 yards, and his quote is, "I'm not saying it's Sasquatch, but it's not a bear, it's not a man in a Sasquatch suit." It's not a monkey. It wasn't a deer. It wasn't a turkey. It wasn't anything else. But I'm not saying it was Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So what are you saying?
What am I saying?
So no.
Oh, what is he saying?
What is he? So
I think he's saying
held
it
to
was
the story.
Sasquatch.
He's held to the story
Yeah.
for quite some time, and so every time, I think of Sasquatch, I think of my buddy. And
Yeah. I'm just going to put this out there. I do not believe in Sasquatch.
I don't either.
We always just have funny conversations on the boat about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true. It's true.
yeah.
If you want to listen to some interesting commentary on Sasquatch, I would recommend the Meat Eater podcast with Steven Ranella. He will destroy, just straight up fillet anybody that actually thinks
That
Sasquatch is real. He's got a laundry list of reasons why but for us in the Ozarks, I'm gonna say game cameras are the only one, the major reason, because there are people around here that actually think it's real.
Oh, there is for sure.
But it's a pipe dream. I mean,
For sure. I had a lady that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't work for me anymore, so I can say this. She told me aliens land and go into the water in Stockton Lake. She's seen it. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Are they stalking buffs?
No, I think she did a lot of LSD when she was younger.
Oh,
Like, she was pretty fried out, but
okay. Well,
yeah.
there you go.
Like, she saw the lights, her and her husband. Like, I'm not kidding.
Well, hey, no judgment.
Whatever works for her.
So
what were we talking
whatever sprinkles your donut. That's a phrase I heard yesterday. I like that.
So we went from lights to Sasquatch to aliens.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
So that kind of sums up what this show's going to be about. Just and also
is
I'll
it going to
caveat
be about lights, Sasquatch, and aliens?
Sure. Why not?
That's right.
I think we did have this conversation on the way to the lake Monday night. We said, "Hey, this is just going to be fun. We don't really care. I mean, like, I care if people listen. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But if you don't, we're still going to do this."
Well, they're not going to hear you say that.
Yeah, so
If they
it'll just
don't
get even weirder. It'll just get even weirder, I promise.
Yeah.
So stick around.
But no, I mean, it is. It's the first dedicated bow fishing podcast out there.
It is.
And we are by no means experts at bow fishing or podcasting.
Nope. So we did drop some jack, and we've got like 3 mics and a mixer, and the sound quality's not bad.
No, to us.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just have to see how it sounds. But,
I mean, we're no Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be able to, so we're on Facebook, Rough Fish Registry, and Instagram at Rough Fish Registry.
Yep.
And we're on the Twitter world. I have not tweeted yet.
I think it's just one of those things we link to.
Yeah.
So it automatically just posts.
Yeah. You'll have to do that.
The only people on Twitter is like Donald Trump and sports folks.
I bet you Donald Trump's a bow fisherman.
He may be.
Yes, I bet he would.
I bet he would.
Yeah.
He knows a thing or two about high pressure sodium bulbs. I'll tell you that.
What?
That tan, man.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Come on.
I'd say he spent some time under a bulb or two. Oh my gosh.
That's why carp are gold.
Because I go over the top of them and tan them.
Chase tans them.
Yeah. I mean, the generators are good for heat. I mean, it got cold, and we did go back there and warm our hands up.
You know what? That was nifty. Go back there and basically fry your hands. I put my gloves over the exhaust. That was pretty. I liked that.
Yeah.
The best part about fishing on somebody else's boat? You don't have to drive.
And you don't have to worry about anything.
No, it's just like, there's no like responsibility to feel like, oh, it's my job to find fish. In all reality, it's a luck. It's a luck thing a lot of the time.
So what did you think when I texted you the other night? 45 degrees outside in the middle of the day. I said, hey, meet me at the house. We're going to the lake.
Oh, it was an instant yes.
Yeah.
No question.
I think
but it was like 50.
It was.
I said yes.
It was.
And I checked the weather. From like 7 to midnight, and it said like 41. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And it
no
got
big
cold.
Deal. Yeah, it got to like 30.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
My fingers had to thaw out for sure.
I'm sitting on that front deck with the nice little wind block watching you, stream tears down your face.
Bob and weave through the trees.
42 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, cool. I think that kind of... Do you have any concluding thoughts?
No, I don't.
We have to have a concluding thought.
Gosh.
To pay homage to Meat Eater.
Yeah. I mean, that is your man crush. I mean...
Not just mine.
Oh, I do enjoy the show for sure. I enjoy his show. Gosh. I don't know. I was thinking about...
Don't have to.
I was thinking about this on the way down here, and this is deep, and it'll be something we might talk about on another episode. And we may talked about it on the way to Stockton.
Uh-huh.
And it's almost a question, but are bow fishermen hypocrites because we get mad when we go to the lake and there's no carp to shoot, but our whole reasoning for shooting carp is killing them because they're an invasive species?
Hypocrite's probably not the right word. It's ironic for sure.
No, it is. I mean, shouldn't we go to the lake, and if we don't see anything, we're like, yes, I've got the job done.
You stole this straight from the Media podcast, didn't you?
No.
Okay, so Ranella, in this last episode, like referenced bow fishing and was like, well, if you think about a sport that's about, conservation and wanting to like take care of an invasive species, like
now I feel bad.
He said like word for word, a bow fisherman that goes out and has a slow night should be like, hey, that was a great night on the water. We're doing our part.
Did he really?
He really did. It was a really good episode too.
I don't even.
It was with.
I seriously. Now I feel bad. I feel like
don't.
Yeah.
Because it's a great point. I was going to bring it up too, and I was, you just got to credit,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Down there
So
in
I
the
guess
footnotes.
That quote is from Stephen Ranella.
But it's an interesting proposition. I think if we could limit the damage, but still, promote like a healthy supply of them. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that looks because MDC
would that be having some sort of limit on the fish similar to a game fish, or would it be? I mean, I don't. This is way out there, and I don't even want to. Yeah,
it's touchy because the other thing we have to think about is otherwise, I mean, you could just railroad this into the ground, and we could just do massive damage.
No, for sure. I mean, I want my kids to be able to enjoy the sport also.
Yeah, so we gotta ask the logical questions about, well, is this sustainable if it's continued at this rate, or do we set some realistic limits? I'm not talking like, you can only shoot 2 a night.
Yeah.
I mean, if you realistically said 5 per person, or 10 or 15,
mm-hmm.
I
mean 20. I don't even think 20 or 30 would be a.
If you per boat
or
whatever.
I don't think 20 fish a person would be a.
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, there's already that limit on buffalo, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. The thing is, that's another great point, because we also want to bring in some folks that know a lot more about the actual, biology of the fish.
Yes, for sure.
Anybody that wants to hop on and school us on carp and all that good stuff, we're all ears.
Yeah, shoot us an email, roughfishregistry@gmail.com, and
bingo,
we'll definitely get back to you.
Yeah.
So what's your concluding thoughts after?
You know what? I'm just glad we're doing this. This is fun. I hope my concluding thought is that I hope we can provide, just a little bit of information for some dudes that are just looking for some guidance, because you can get on the forums and ask questions, but 9 times out of 10, it's something you should have searched for.
Yeah, you get flamed
and
for it.
You get flamed pretty hard, and just some general counsel on how to put stuff together. So we're going to talk about equipment and how to build a boat, and
Yeah, maybe we can go to all the Facebook groups and find the 5 most asked questions, and just go over those.
That's another thing. Shoot us an email with questions.
Yeah.
Just say, hey.
Not that we'll know the answer.
No, definitely not, but it'll give us something to research and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So
For
we're sure. We're cracking the limit on time. So we don't want to hold anybody up any longer. So
no, for sure. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
and,
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, get out there, kill some fish, and we'll see you in a week or so, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, guys.
See ya.